Welcome back to Mid Morning. This winter has been tough on our landscapes and garden plants. Now experts are giving tips on how to bring them back to life this spring.
Here to tell us more about spring planting is Richard Weber, the owner and founder of Springhouse Gardens in Nicholasville. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, you're welcome. I wish we could bring all of our plants back to life.
Right?
Some of these, and I brought one as a visual aid. This one is all we've got left of our Scarlet Curls Weeping Willow. That was a beautiful, it's one of our iconic trees at Springhouse Gardens and the barn at Springhouse. And this is all that's left.
And now it's got to be replaced.
So sad.
Yeah, one of the things that we've been dealing with here in central Kentucky, and especially a little further south, like where we are in Nicholasville, we had a lot of ice. So you get a lot of ice coupled with snow on top. Any of these trees that had all that weight on them, because we had such wet soils, it wasn't necessarily the ice that broke these, it was the combination of extremely wet ground and the weight, and the trees just fell over. Basically, the roots just weren't strong enough to hold up. So we've been in the mode of assessing and removing, or assessing and pruning, because right now we're going to have a nice warm week. So this is a great time for homeowners to be going out and looking very carefully at their trees and shrubs and make sure that there aren't broken branches that are just hanging there. I don't know if you've heard of the term widowmakers, but when you've got a branch that's hanging down and swinging in the air, if you walk under them, those branches can break off. So this is a great time before the leaves come out to really assess your trees and see if you need to call in an arborist or do some specialty pruning on these things to try to render them safe again. So we're just assessing a lot of these things right now.
We've heard from viewers before during cold stretches say they have damage to a bush, things have started to turn brown. How do they tell the difference between what needs to be replaced and what just needs to be pruned and given time to come back? We're
seeing that a lot right now with different broadleaf evergreens. Because of that super cold that we had, a lot of those their leaves are browning. So a quick test is just to scratch right underneath the bark of the trees or the stems. If it's still green, those plants are probably going to be fine, even if they've got kind of a brown cast on them. We're seeing that with a lot of southern magnolias right now. And what will more than likely, what we're hoping is going to happen is that those brownish leaves will fall off when the new buds are coming out. But if you don't see green buds and a green stem, you're going to have to remove the brown part up to wherever you find the green. And you might see that with cherry laurels and different shrubs like that. But most of those will come back in most cases. So you just have to give them some time and wait for that warm weather in April and May. Sometimes you might have to wait that long.
When would be the earliest that we can start planting?
That's a great question. Right now, I mean, now that we're getting the ground unfrozen and it's drying out, you can start planting this week, actually, especially deciduous trees and shrubs, which mean trees that don't have leaves on them. This is an excellent time to start planning to plant. As far as flowers and things, it's still a little early for that, but trees and shrubs, evergreens, you could start to plant them now, but then we still do have to watch for additional snow and ice that we could still get in March and even early April. So the safe date for things that are a little tender is the end of April. Usually it's about April 25th when it's safe to plant things like geraniums and petunias and things like that. But typically here in central Kentucky, we say wait for the tender stuff until after Derby Day.
Derby Day, that's what we hear.
Yeah, the first weekend in May usually is when it's safe for all those tender kinds of things. So
thanks so much for coming out and talking to us.
It's my pleasure. If you want to keep some branches.
All right, we'll do it.
So nice of you. Keep it here on Mid Morning.